July is the powerful month of creation and self-empowerment, and it is so in our health as well. So let's kind of get the energy out there. Let's start writing it out today, especially if there's anything and everything I desire to change about my health. I'm gonna put it out there, because in the field of possibilities, no matter what the condition, is available. I mean, I have seen so many people, and it's just, we're not getting introduced to those who have managed to heal some profound condition. Like, you don't see it as much as maybe I would. So I'm gonna make sure I share that. And then also what our goal is going to be is, if I need to really do some profound shift and come from this place to this place in healing, I'm gonna set myself up for success here, and I'm gonna allow, it's almost like we have to allow this place to be available. And once we do, it's only a matter of fact of actually climbing the stairs. Like, literally, I see it over and over and over, and I've seen it today. It's like a decision, you know, it's sort of like going from the, everybody told me I'm not gonna make it, and to, I know it's available to me and I'm gonna get there, and this is what I need to do. Like, literally within an hour, I've just witnessed that. I'm blown away. So I wanna set us up for that, because the last week, which is now starting today with this powerful full moon and this profound sunset, starting today, the last week in June, I will really have the powerful opportunity in July.
I know quite a few of us been through some transformations, myself including. I know for Day of Forgiveness, when I was going through the forgiveness in the poem, there was this deep, it was a sadness, but it was more of an opening. It was more of a transformation available, and as to what is next after we connect all the dots. Whether you've been through all the recording and you're still catching up, there was sort of a sequence to them, but we don't have to go through the sequence. But the idea was that we start at the center with our inner voice, and we reconnect to the inner voice that holds the truth of who we are, and everything else kind of comes off of that, including we start discovering and rediscovering our self-love, and where we have been holding back and not necessarily receiving love of the world, receiving our own love, receiving our own hearing of the inner voice, and receiving where it comes to our inner purpose and our life's purpose and what that really means for us, and moving into creating and allowing ourselves to create. And ultimately, the connecting piece in all of that, there is this profound level of forgiveness that is something that we cannot really manufacture, as much as we want to open the door and help our mind to go into space of forgiveness. Forgiveness is more combination of all of these, where it just rises naturally. It's like a next step in moving forward is, I forgive. It's like that field of forgiveness is what sort of enters into this whole beautiful structure that we have been not really creating, because it's already there. This is really who we are. It's more we're shining light on it, just like the full moon is shining light on the possibly unseen. We're shining light on the truth of who we really are, and we're just becoming more aware. And by becoming more aware, we can really focus, and we can choose to focus on what the truth of who we are is. And that, in a big picture, really is then the gift of life, what we have talked about today. we are going in the next step of our immersion is this together with everything else that we are. The sadness, the unresolved pains, the not so big joys, you know, the angers, the frustrations, the decisions that we have made that we might not have forgiven yet, or the pains, or whatever health issues we have to deal with, or whatever things are happening that I'm not able to take charge of. Like, those are actually part of this. They are not in a separate container somewhere on the side and we're trying to push them away and only be in this corner. It's quite the opposite. They become a profound fuel for this. So we bring the fear in. Right here. It's gonna have a spot. We're going to bring the discouragement and the not being able to stick with what I decided to do and for some part of my life. And there's going to be some judgment attached to that for sure. And there's going to be some sadness about things in our lives that just happened, that a lot of them were out of our control. So there's going to be some sadness there. There's probably going to be some anger too, especially about certain things in our life right now and in the world in general. And those are so okay. And when we bring them in and understand that they are part of the whole, that actually allows for the space of well-being and truth to go bigger, because we don't have to take two balls and separate them and keep one at bay and only fit into one. We actually bring the energy of these guys in and they become the fuel for the expansion. Wow. How about that?
And we'll also focus on the ability and availability as to how can our mind help us receive more health and well-being. It's a big one. It's one that's not spoken about, and it's one that has been very suppressed and hushed in this last year and a half. And it is one of the most important ones to gain the internal empowerment when it comes to trusting our body to heal and regenerate and just be in a state of well-being. So that'll be my focus for the next week and the month of July. Check in the June recap and July invitation. That's a brief, like 15-minute video on the YouTube. I'll post it below also. It just helps to be ahead of the game. You know, it helps to know and anticipate what may be happening and what's happening with others, so that we can actually just be centered when we respond and not just have to react to the state of the external world. Sounds good?